Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy SusMIT back at it again with another modded Minecraft survival episode on all the mods 8. In today's episode, I'm going to be going over what I've done off camera and showing you guys the progression I've made towards last episode, which was our mob grinder. And we got into some enchanting and stuff last episode. On this episode, we're actually going to be making the refined storage. And we're finally going to get our storage situation all prepped and everything actually going, so we don't have to deal with these drawers anymore. In the beginning of the video, I'm just going to show you guys like what I've done off camera and how it helps and how it works. And then we will get right into refined storage. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, the first thing I want to show you guys that I've done is a little bit more on the storage side of things. So we still have these like temporary storages right now. Oops, I didn't even grab that. But we still have these temporary storages right now, which we're going to fix with refined storage. I did wind up adding a deposit backpack. So when we go mining, we just grab this backpack. It has all the upgrades for mining. And we just go into the mining dimension, mine everything up that we need. And then we come back, we set the backpack here. We grab this wrench and then click this to extract. The ultimate pipe will go in the backpack. When you when it's not connected and you take the backpack off, the ultimate pipe will fall out and it will automatically go into the backpack. You just take that, put it right here in this item frame. When you're done mining, you come back, put the bag down, take the pipe, put it to extract, or the wrench, I'm sorry, put it to extract, grab the ultimate pipe, put it in there, and then it automatically funnels. Everything that doesn't get smelted goes here. And then everything that does get smelted goes into this furnace, which we did wind up upgrading to a netherite furnace. But the problem with this is it uses a lot of energy. Like this bar goes from 1 million to 0 in like one. So say everything in these top squares is a stack, this will drop to 0 and it will just suffer until it gets everything done, which takes a while. So we are going to have to upgrade our power source downstairs, but first we're going to see how everything runs with the refined storage, so this way we know how much power we actually need to generate. So it's going to be, I don't want to build that up, make it bigger, and then it's still not be enough power for what we have planned to do today. So we're going to fix that in the future. We'll build up the refined storage. If it doesn't work correctly and it's a power issue, then we'll know how big we got to go for our power supply. And then another thing that I've been doing is getting these sea shelves because they add arcana. So, and candles add arcana, and these wither skeletons add arcana as well. So, or not arcana, what's the other one? Quanta. So it modulates the power range. So basically the wither skeleton skulls increase the levels of enchantment. So say we want a sharpness 3 and we're getting only sharpness 1s. Every single skull we add here gives it a higher chance of getting past a sharpness 3. And then the candles do basically the same thing, but for arcana it makes rare enchantments more common and increases the number of enchantments. So say we'll put our shovel in there and we do the max enchantment, we'll be guaranteed to get more than 1 enchantment on it, and it'll be a higher rarity. So, that's another thing. And then, another thing that I've learned about enchanting is in the end, right? When you go in the end, after you get a decent set of gear on and get a decent weapon, if you go in the end and you kill a lot of legendaries and epic bosses spawn in the end, and especially the shulker boxes. If you find a legendary shulker box, right, and you kill it, it'll drop legendary armor. And the legendary armor you can then put into the salvager. I did touch upon this last video a little bit. But you salvage it down, and then once you get the material, which is Godforged Pearls, this is what you get for the legendary, killing legendary bosses, which are yellow or orangish bosses. And then you just need gem dust, which, again, I said in the last video. You just take these gems, all your extra gems, throw them on the ground here, and then put an anvil up here. It'll fall and crush them into gem dust. And then that's how you get gem dust. But you also want to keep the good gems. Like, there's a bunch of good gems in here. I got them on my armor right now, but keep the good gems. use the old gems for gem dust, basically. And then what you could do is you can actually put the item of your choice inside this top square, and then put the rarity of your choice in this square, preferably legendary. You are going to need a lot of XP for this. That's why it was really good that we made the mob grinder, which I'm going to show you guys after this. But you are going to need a lot of XP for this, and you do want to add these sea shelves because they add the Eterna and all, and it also applies to this. It doesn't say it does, but I've noticed since I've added these that all my enchantments from this have been way better, even without the God Forged pearls. So you want to upgrade your surrounding area first, and then you want to start enchanting with this to get the max enchants. So I went ahead and last night I was playing, or not last night, but earlier this morning I was playing, and I went and I killed a bunch of bosses, and I still even have some of their gear here. And look at how many enchantments, and look at the level of the enchantments that these bosses drop. Like Icy Thorns 4, Protection 7, Mana Regen 6. Like these things can go over the net, like the normal limit that you get, like efficiency 7 or efficiency 6, fortune 4. Like these things are way better to go out and farm instead of just trying to get it from the enchantment table, you know? So go out, kill legendary bosses, grab all their gear, and then don't break it down yet until you pull off all the enchantments you want. So say for instance, like we want this blast protection 6 here. If we go and use the blood infuser and the purification system, which I explained how to do a couple episodes ago, you can actually rip the enchantments off using books, and you can get these enchantments and put them onto your gear. Like I took all the soulbound enchantments off. I took everything like protection, everything that was high. I'm going to take off of these. I'm probably going to take off every single enchantment, to be honest, and just keep them just for in the future if I need them. And then what you do is it's still a legendary item even without the enchantments. So you can still take it and salvage it down into the pearls, the Godforged pearls. So you can get, not only can you get really OP enchantments off of this stuff, you could even break it down and use it for material after you pull off all the enchantments. So that's the most efficient way that I found to get god tier like armor and weapons and tools, is to take the enchantments off of the legendary stuff, then use it, salvage it down into the material, and then take the gear of your choice and put it in there, and then upgrade it from there. And it makes it so much better. Like, for instance, our sword here has Soulbound, Frostbite 5, Leech 1, Bane of Illagers, Teleportation, Scavenger 3, Sharpness 10, and Looting 3. It has a 22 attack damage, which is the normal attack damage for all the Modium, but it increased attack speed. It's also got a 2.25 attack range, so I can hit up to 3 blocks further away from me, so I don't even have to get close to the enemy anymore to hit them. It's 27% base crit chance, so it has over a quarter of a percent to do a crit, and when it does crit, it hits a lot. It also does 41% base lifesteal, so when I'm hitting enemies, it gives me their life. Basically, it steals their hearts and gives them to me. It attacks, deals 6 damage to nearby enemies, so it's going to do 6 attack damage to nearby enemies, which you can also make that even crazier, because if you say you got armor on and you get the gem that allows you to deal damage off of your base HP. So say your base HP is 100 and your attacks deal 6 damage to nearby enemies. It's going to scale that up to your HP by however percentage the gem is. So basically it'll do even more damage to nearby enemies. So it's basically one hitting them. And then I added a gem that gives plus 10 total attack damage. So my sword has plus 10 total attack damage. And then it also has 40% armor piercing. So even if they're wearing armor, it's like I'm hitting them with an axe. And if you don't know, axes go through armor. So, like, the armor really doesn't bother the axe. So I wanted that armor piercing on the sword. So this way, enemies, especially the legendary enemies, they wear armor. So it's really easier to get the armor piercing on the sword and then go and kill them. And then we've also done our pickaxes here, which we've got total mining speed up, total attack speed. I don't know. I accidentally did attack speed. I didn't mean to do that. Um, we have 45% base mining speed, so this is basically an efficiency 10 pickaxe. It has 2 reach distance, so it'll reach up to 2 blocks further. And also, the block drops will teleport to me, so I don't even need a magnet when I'm mining with this pickaxe. And then this pickaxe is my fortune pickaxe. We added 2 luck gems to it, fortune 5 to it. It has a 45% base mining speed, and it also has the netherite effectiveness against all blocks, which it's an aluminium pickaxe, so the netherite doesn't really matter. But say this was a diamond pickaxe, you could basically have it as netherite with just this enchantment. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. I've also done the axe, which it has Unbreaking 5, so it takes forever to break. And it also does 62% base crit chance, 39% base crit damage, 48% base overheal, so when I hit them, I get healed. 43% base armor piercing and 3 luck. And I didn't put the luck on there, it came like this. I got these off of bosses. This one as well. So, but this is just a shovel, so it ain't that big of a deal. But now onto our armor. Now our armor, it's taking up to almost 200 plus levels just to upgrade our chest piece now, because we have so many friggin' OP enchantments. But as you can see, we got the magic protection, the mana boost, the mana regen, the soulbound, the aqua infinity, and luck. The more luck you have built onto your armor and onto your gear, the higher of a percentage you're going to have of getting more. Luck is like fortune and looting. So basically, when you kill enemies and when you mine ores, you're going to be getting a lot of that stuff if you have luck on your armor. And then we've also got the 14% max health. And then when we get attacked, we gain instant health 3 and we gain resistance for 4 seconds every time we get attacked. So basically, our helmet is keeping us. We can't die basically. Physical damage taken is reduced by 13%. Explosive damage is reduced. Magic damage is reduced. Icy Thorn, so when the enemy hits us, they get slowed. Curse of Bones, when the enemy hits us, it puts a bone shield around us, which does damage. Reach 4, so we can hit enemies even further. Vitality 1, which gives us more health. We got projectile protection. 22% total entity gravity. I'm not too worried about. That's not really that bad of a thing to have. We can take it off with the blood, but there's really no point because it's not really doing much. We also got luck on here. We got the base overheal going, so this way we got more health. Same thing for our pants. The base current HP damage, so this way we do more damage. Fall damage reduced, explosive damage reduced. Every single thing you have should have soulbound on it. It should all have soulbound on it because when you die, right, you don't want to lose all your gear. You can lose everything in your inventory still, but you won't lose your gear. So anything that has soulbound on it will stay on you even after you die. So say we die to like a boss and all of our items in our backpack and all fell on the ground. We don't have our jetpack anymore, but at least we have armor and weapons to get back to it and kill whatever's in the way to get there. So that works as well. You want soulbound. Soulbound is a must. And then another thing that I have been working on besides enchantments, and I could go into great detail on enchantments. There's so much OP enchantments and ways to get super OP on enchantments, but in order to do any of that, you need experience. And this is where the mob farm comes in. So I've been working pretty hard on the mob farm. And it is it's pretty crazy down here. So let's turn this off so we can actually hear. And we'll kill these phantoms. With the sharpness 10 and the looting, you get so much from killing these guys. But we've added quite a bit, and we've done quite a lot. So obviously, we've added a phantom spawner. The wandering trader, he will come around every once in a while, and he will have I actually yoinked him, I believe. I think I yoinked him. Yeah, right here. So if we put this guy down, right, and we look in his inventory, he has a sharpness 10 and looting 3 sword trade in here. Now, we can't do it again, but I yoinked them so I could show you guys. You want to keep out for these wandering traders. If these wandering traders come around, sometimes, yeah, most of the time it's dog crap loot, but sometimes it actually has some really good stuff. Like sharpness 10 is a really good trade, and we can't trade with him again, so I'm gonna kill him now, but it still was a really, really good trade, especially when we could use our blood system here to pull the sharpness 10 off and add it to our sword like we did. So now we have a sharpness 10 sword, and it just makes it all the, like, much better. So we're going to go in here real quick. I'm going to show you guys. We did add a wither slash slime spawner. So these guys are withers and slimes. So we get slime balls and withers, wither skeletons and all from them. And then, so we don't need this withers spawner anymore that we actually have here. So we're going to change that for something more useful. We did kill the ender dragon as well. So the cave spawners could spawn in. We showed you that. We got to do the same thing for the iron golem. If we want iron ingots, we're going to need a dragon egg. So this way he actually spawns in. Because there's certain conditions that you got to meet with these spawners. And the iron golem needs villagers around in order to spawn. Otherwise, he won't spawn. The cave creeper needed to be in a cave. So we put an egg on him. Well, our first egg that we got from killing the ender dragon the first time, we put on him. So this way we can have infinite supply of diamonds and emeralds. And then we've added the wither skeleton spawner up here, which is the slime one. And then we've also put our blaze spawner up there. We used chorus fruit on all these guys, so this way they don't have AI. They'll just fall down and go straight into the killing machine. Another thing, we've added a lot more stuff to our storage here, as you can tell. It goes all the way up here now. And the thing is with this, I like it. I like the system, but it can't hold an infinite supply. Like it runs up, it fills up quick, is what I'm trying to say. Like we have 15,000 emeralds and 13,000 diamonds. Like we have so much iron and so much gold, and it's like at this point we need to upgrade our storage because yeah, these copper upgrades are easy to make, but you can only slot 4 in here in each. So it's like we can't really go higher than this unless we do the other upgrades, which is just no point because we're going to be going into refined storage. So it's like there's no point in upgrading this, and the way it is right now is perfectly fine. If we just, and we can also just throw this stuff like this, and it'll automatically get picked up by the backpack, and it'll go in there, which is pretty cool. Like, see, we're backed up on slime balls, we're backed up on gunpowder, we're backed up on stone, we're backed up on raw water shards. Like, there's a bunch of stuff in here that we don't need anymore. So, like, we need more storage, basically, to hold it. So, that's why we're going to get definitely into refined storage today. So, this way we can make our lives a little easier. And we don't have to keep coming down here to grab resources or to do anything like that. We could just put it in the refined storage, make a controller. We're probably going to set the refined storage up right here where these chests are. And then we'll work on the power problem. But basically, that's everything that I've done since our last episode, since I've been on. And I just figured I'd catch you guys up so this way, you know, you're not missing out on anything. I don't want to just make an episode and then make another episode and be like, wow, when did all this happen? Like, you know what I mean? So, but that's the progression. That's all caught up. And basically, now we're going to get into refined storage. So, this should be fun. There was one other thing that I was thinking about doing, but I forget. Oh yeah, vibranium. We'll worry about that in the future. We'll work on refined storage right now. So we're gonna go get all the stuff that we need. I'm gonna show you guys how to like make silicone and all that stuff. So this way we can get everything rolling. So I'll be right back as soon as I get all the resources together and get everything rolling. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need in order to get started with refined storage is the controller. And this is basically like the brain of the operation. So this is going to be the first block that we work on getting. which we're going to need silicone, which if we click on the silicone and go to the smelting tab, we can see here that it's nether quartz in order to get silicone. So that's pretty simple, pretty easy to get. And then another thing that we're going to need is these advanced processors and quartz enriched iron. So in order to make quartz enriched iron, you just take nether quartz and surround it in iron like this, and it'll make quartz enriched iron. So that's also simple. And then for the processor, you're going to need a raw advanced processor first, which is the diamond, redstone dust, the processor bindings, which you're going to need a lot of these. You just need slime and string. So make up a bunch of those because it takes these processor bindings for basically everything. And then you're also going to need the silicone, which again is just smelted quartz. So, and then you can make yourself a advanced processor, make the controller. So the machine casing, quartz enriched iron, again, just quartz with 3 iron, and then you could use any sort of block in the middle, and it'll make the machine casing. So we're gonna make that first, and then we'll be right back, and I'll show you what else you're gonna need, because you are gonna need. I'd prefer the crafting grid, which would be next. But you need the grid first, which takes a lot more than the controller. So you are going to need machine casing for just about everything here. So I would just make a bunch of machine casings as well. You're going to need construction, destruction, improved processors, and then quartz enriched iron. Everything is just the only thing you're changing to get better gear is the ingot or the like diamond. It'd either be an ingot or a diamond. And then you're going to need the construction core, which this is going to take glowstone and a basic processor, which the basic processor is just iron. And then you're going to need the destruction core, which is nether quartz and another basic processor. So, and then that's how you get the crafting grid with the advanced processor. So you're going to need a bunch of processors and storage, basically. So yeah, you're going to need a bunch of these bindings, a bunch of silicone, and a bunch of the processors. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get everything we need. We're going to start making this and whipping it up. And then we are going to, in the future, we will work on the pattern grid. We're going to need that for auto crafting, which I'm not 100% worried about right now, because you could just use JEI and craft it up in the crafting grid. So we'll do that first. We'll get these blocks, and then I'll show you how to get the storage in the blocks. So we'll be right back. We're going to whip these up, and then I'll show you that. Alright, so we went ahead and made up everything that well, not everything, not yet, but the main parts that we need. We're actually going to place this right here. So the first thing you want to put down is your controller. It had power because of the wireless charging from my hotbar, but you are going to have to power this. So I'm going to just put a flux point on the back, and then we're going to select our network. And now we're going to also bypass the limit. So this should have infinite power if everything works correctly. The more storage you put in this, the more power you are going to need. So that's why I was saying earlier that we might have to upgrade our power source. But now we put down the crafting grid, and that turns on. So now we can see everything in here. We can craft anything that's in here. But before we can put any items in here, we are going to need storage. So we're going to have to make these I believe they're called like disk drives or something like that. I don't think it's this one. Right here, refined storage. Yeah, disk drive. So we're going to need this. So we could actually make this. We just need a chest, which we can make. 8. Make a chest. And then we will take the disk drive. We went ahead and just made a crap ton of everything. So now that we got the disk drive, mind you, all these pieces have to connect. They have to be connected. So we'll put the disk drive here, which is connected to this. And it has to physically be touching it. Now, if we look in here, we need disk. So we're going to have to make a actual drive for this. So I see these storage disks here. So we'll start, you got to start with the 1K and then work your way up. So we'll start by making a bunch of these 1Ks. Now, we're going to need the storage part first. So it's going to take glass and silicone, enriched iron, and redstone. So we're going to make a bunch of these, actually. So this way, because we need them to keep upgrading, basically. So let's get we're going to be missing redstone as well. We might as well grab some more. Right here. Alright, and now we're going to go into here, and we're going to make the storage part, and then I think once we make the storage part, we can just skip out on making the housing. Yeah, you don't even have to make the housing. You can just go straight to it, to the storage disk. All you need is the storage part. So we're gonna make a couple of those. We'll make 19. That's as many as we can make. And then we're gonna need. So I think to go up, you don't need the disk. Like the 4K storage part. Yeah. See, so you don't need the disk. What you need is the actual 1K storages. So we're just going to make as many of those as possible. And then for the 16K, again, you don't need the disk or the house. You don't have to put it in a housing. You just need the parts. So we'll make as 2 of those. And that's 32K items right there, which isn't going to be enough. So we're going to need more than that. So we are going to need, what do we need for these? We need more glass. So let's grab some more glass. Good, take that. Throw it into here. Grab the glass, and I'm pretty sure I have more glass somewhere. Yeah, right here. So now we can make a bunch of these. There we go. And then we're going to make a bunch of these. And then that was the 4Ks, right? Yeah. Now we're going to make the 16Ks, as many as we can. With just 3 more. Mind you, we want to get as many of these 64Ks as we can. So we can only make 1. So in order to make a 64K, we need 3 16Ks. So we're going to have to continue repeating this process, which we are missing silicone now. So we do have some more silicone in here. And I don't know if we have any more quartz, so we'll just throw all of this in here. We don't need quartz anymore, we just need the silicone. And then we will need quartz later for quartz enriched iron, but we have enough of that. So we're going to go into here, and we're going to make more of these. This is what I was talking about power. Look how fast that drained. And now it's just struggling. And then it goes right back up. But we should have enough glass now. And we're just going to make a bunch of these. 32, nice. A bunch of these, which we need basic processors, which I believe we have. We do not. So what do we need for more basic processors? So we do 4K. This basic iron, silicone, and redstone with the bindings. We can only make 2. What are we missing? Missing silicone and iron. Yep. So I'm gonna go mining. I'm gonna get some more nether quartz, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so now that we have nether quartz, which we went and got a bunch more this time, we're going to turn a lot of it into silicone, because we're going to need that. So, let that smelt down into silicone. There we go. And then we need basic processors, I believe it was. So 1K storage. Oh no, it was the 4K storage. Yeah, we need processors. So we'll just make a bunch more of these 1Ks so far. Oh. Crafting. Okay. the glass, iron, and redstone. Redstone, glass, iron. And make up a whole stack of those. We're going to need a lot of these 1K storages, so that's why I'm making a butt ton. And then now we'll turn all those 1Ks into 4Ks, which we need basic processors. So we need iron and the bindings. So bindings. And then iron. It looks like we need more redstone. Okay. Pick up a bunch of those. I gotta put a furnace down there. And then throw those in there. Grab those. Make 16, which we can make more. What are we missing? Some more basic processors. Oh, gotta smelt those. There we go. That should be all of them. And now to make the 16Ks, we'll need improved processors. Which we have. So we'll make as much of those as possible, which was 10. And then we need the 64Ks, which will take advanced. Which we have a bunch of those as well. And then we can make 3 more 64Ks. So 4 64Ks. And now we need to make the housing units. We're missing glass. So we need a little bit more sand. So let's go get a little bit more sand. Little lag. We literally only need a little bit. Go. Let's go burn this up. Let's make the 64Ks. There goes all 4. And now we go into our disk drive. And we put the 64Ks in. Which leaves us with 256K. Nice. And again, we can upgrade these even further. So we just have to keep making 64Ks. Now we should be able to fill this up. Now, it only holds 256K items. We only want stuff that's doesn't have a storage right now. Like, all these have storages. Like, these all have storage. So, I'm not worried about that. The slime balls have storage. The nether quartz have storage right here. So, it's not taking up space. Eventually, once we have enough... Actually, I think we can put basically everything in here. But like I said, we're going to connect this storage to the controller downstairs. So we don't actually have to take up any storage space in here, if that makes sense. So that's the very basics of refined storage. This is the very basics. Once we get more drives, we can fill this up. You can also have a fluid drive. So this way it gathers fluids. Like say we wanted a crap ton of blood, which we're probably going to do. We're going to set up a blood fluid area. So this way we can get blood automatically linked to here. Basically, you can link everything to the controller, and then it'll be available at the crafting grid. So I'm going to go through all of this, and I'm going to figure out everything that we want to put inside the system, which is mainly all of this stuff. Nothing that is like armor or cannons or anything, no enchantments, horse armor, anything that's a single item, we don't want. So anything that doesn't stack is just going to take up space in our system, which we don't want to do that. So we're going to go through every single one of these, start putting them into our system, and we'll be right back. All right, so we have everything set up. As you can see, no more ugly boxes here. Let's put this like right there. No more ugly storage boxes. No more chest. That's just extra backpacks that are empty. We don't need them. But we made ourselves a little trash can to make stuff a little easier to get rid of all the extra stuff that we didn't need. These are my backpacks. And now we have everything in our storage. And we've only used 7.7K. Yeah. These can hold a lot. And that's all on one drive. So we haven't even got to a quarter of one drive yet. And if we look in here, yeah, this is everything we own so far. So what we could do is downstairs, we have a lot of stuff down there. And it's a lot of like mob drops and stuff and MBT and items that we don't necessarily want to, because these are going to stack up a lot. These are going to take up a lot of storage. So we don't want these items, we want to keep them in these drawers. We don't want them going into our disk. So what we need to do is make a external storage right here, an external storage, and then we're going to put the external storage, well, I'm going to get this all set up, and then I'm going to show you afterwards, because it would be better, but we're going to need the external storage, and then we're going to need to get these transmitters. So if we want it to be wireless, right, we're going to need the network transmitter and the network receiver, and we're going to whip up both of these. We're going to get the external storage as well, so this way we can connect it, and then we'll connect the external storage to the network receiver and transmitter, which will allow us to see everything that's in these drawers in our crafting grid, but without putting it in the grid, in the disk. So these ain't going to take up space. They're just going to stay inside the drawers here, and then we can pull them from our crafting grid if we ever need them. So we're going to go and put everything that's in our disk. If it is in here, we're going to put it in here instead of the disk, so it doesn't take up space. Like the redstone, we can go grab that out of our drive and all, and we're going to put it all in here. And then we're going to see what this sees in our crafting grid. So this way we don't have to basically be down here grabbing this stuff one by one. It could all just be used in our crafting grid. So we're going to get that all set up. I'm explaining a little bit better when we actually have it set up, so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we finally have everything that we need for the wireless storage over here. So we're going to go down here. I'm going to show you guys how to set this up real quick. So we are actually going to go... Oh, I forgot my pickaxe. We're going to go underneath the system, so this way it's not taking up all this space. Let's grab our pickaxe real fast. So we're going to go back down. And then we are going to go 1, 2 deep. And I almost forgot to mention, you do need a network card as well to set this up. But, so now we're going to put our transmitter here. Bam. And then we're going to put our external storage, which we gotta go down one more, right underneath of this. Like that. And now we're going to go into the external storage and we're going to set this priority to 1. And what that does is anything that we put in our disk, if it can fit down here, it'll automatically go into this storage. So like the redstone that we have up in our disk will automatically get pulled into here instead of taking up disk space. So it basically saves us some disk space. And then let's get these out of our backpack here. We can take the network card and you're going to just right click, or no, shift right click. Right? Oh, wait. I'm a dummy. It's the receiver you put here. You put the receiver here. And then you shift right click. And now if we look at the card, it says it's linked to the coordinates where the receiver is. So now we can close this up. And now if we go into the backpack and grab the transmitter and go back upstairs. How did I get this extra cobblestone and all that? Okay, so now we go back upstairs with the transmitter, and we connect the transmitter to our system. So we'll put it right here just for now, for aesthetic reasons. Now we right click on here, and then we put our network card in. And as you can see, 105 blocks away is our receiver. So now if we go into our crafting grid, we can see everything that we have down in those storages. And mind you, some of these things are over like 30,000. Like, it's a lot in here now. And so if we go into our disk, we're still only using 7.7K. We still haven't used any of our disk space because we're using the drawers that we have downstairs. So anytime we pull something from here, it'll automatically try pulling it, or and vice versa. If we put anything in here, it'll automatically try putting it in the drawers or pulling it from the drawers, because we set that priority to 1 on the drawers. So everything in here that we have is being pulled from the drawers and pushed into the drawers. So it saves us space on our disk. So now we have literally access to everything up here. And the main reason why I wanted to set up the crafting grid and not just the storage grid is because say we want to craft like another network transmitter, right? These red X's mean we're missing something. So say, okay, we're missing the destruction core. We click the destruction core, and now we can just craft the destruction core. And then we put it into our system. Then we go back to the receiver. Now we're missing a construction core. So we grab the construction core, put it back into our system. And now we're missing 1 netherite ingot, which I'm going to set up the same exact thing over here. I'm going to link these all to a controller, and then I'm going to put them in our system as well without taking up any space. So for now, the netherite ingots are down here. They don't necessarily have a place to live right now in these drawers. But what we could do is set up a whole nother external storage here, and we'll keep the priority to 0 because we want it to pull from below. And so the redstone, the diamonds, the emeralds, that stuff we don't need up here anymore. We don't need this up here because we have it down in our system. So we could take all this out, and then we can put it over here, and it'll automatically push into our drawers downstairs. We got a storage controller. Now we can just put the storage controller here. Then we'll take this and add it to this, that. There we go. That's working. And now put this on top, like so. And then the receiver there. Now we right click our receiver, get the coordinates. Then we put our network transmitter underneath, and then we slap this into there. And now if we go into here, we should, yep, 4K sugarcane. Potatoes, carrots, So everything that we grow over here and is in this is now inside there as well. So another thing that we can do, since we are here, let's put these in there. We don't need this anymore. We could do stuff like I don't want to have to come to this every time I want to use my system, right? I'd rather just use it anywhere. So what we could do is make a wireless controller, basically, that allows us to open this anywhere in our base. So we'll have to make like a receiver, I believe it's called, a wireless transmitter. Here we go. So we'll make that, and then we just pop this down on top of here, like that. And we can click in here. See, it says 16 blocks. We can actually upgrade this. We need an upgrade, just one. Actually, we'll need two, because we want this to the max. And now we do the range upgrade, and we're going to make as many of those as we can. There we go. And now if we open this and then slap all those in there, now it's 48 blocks. Which still isn't a lot, but it's better than what it was. I don't know if there's a way to make it even better. But for now, we'll stick with this. And we want a crafting grid. A wireless crafting grid. So let's see if we can make one of those. What are we missing? A crafting grid itself. Crafting table. A grid. And then wireless crafting grid. We need this first. There we go. Then a crafting grid. And now a wireless crafting grid. There we go. And this should have... Ooh, why isn't it filling up? There it goes. So now, I believe, network not found. We shift right click the controller. There we go. Now we can access this basically anywhere in our area here. Can we even access it down here? Not in range. So I don't know how we would increase that range. But we can access this anywhere from up here now, without having to be right in front of the system. So basically that's refined storage. And that's how this system works. I hope I explained it enough and gave you guys a good enough explanation of how to like get the wireless and save space all into your system, and then how to actually access it anywhere. I will figure out how to upgrade the range further, because I know you can do it further. I just don't know exactly how. But once we figure that out, we can access this from anywhere, and I'm pretty sure you could like access it from like different dimensions and stuff, but I'm not entirely sure. So we'll figure out how to do all that. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you like and enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.